just a couple of minutes away from beginning the meeting, and before we do, I'd invite you to stand and join me in the pledge, and then Councilman Brian Powell will bring the invocation.
Let's pray. Psalms 136:1 says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever." And Father, we thank you for that steadfast love, how you've blessed this city and you've loved on this city. And we just ask you to continue to do that. Be with us tonight. Be with our citizens through this Thanksgiving season. And just may the love of Christ be shown on everybody, and just provide for our needs. Be with us tonight as we deliberate. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, I'd like to again welcome everyone here tonight. And our first order of business, as I call the meeting to order, will be for our city clerk, Saber Jeffus, to call the roll. Saber?
Mayor Sprouse.
Here.
Brian Powell.
Here.
Amelia Taldo. Jeff Watson. Mike Overton.
Here.
Mike Lawson.
Here.
Aaron Huntley.
Here.
Randall Harriman. Mark Fujirus.
Here.
Ernest Kate.
Here.
All right, thank you. We do have a quorum. Thanks, everyone, for being here this holiday week. Mark Fujirus is down there with all his friends, right? There you go. We're at item 4 on the agenda. This is the agenda item that the council sets aside each regular council meeting for comments from our citizens. If we have residents that would like to address the council concerning something that is not already on tonight's agenda, you'd be welcome to come at this time. Just come up to the podium, clearly state your name and address. Please keep your comments brief and understand that the council won't take action tonight on whatever you bring forward. Is there anyone that would like to address the council concerning an item that is not already on tonight's agenda? All right, thank you. We'll move forward to the approval of minutes. Council, you've had an opportunity to look these over. If there are no changes or additions, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item 6, actually items 6 and 7 are public hearings, and I'll turn those over to Ernest Kate, our city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 12A on the agenda is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of Act 9 industrial development revenue bonds. The state statute requires that before this ordinance can be taken up, that a public hearing be held, and notice of the public hearing has been published as required by the statute. That's why it's on the agenda. Is there anyone here that would like to comment on that item? If not, we'll take it up when we get to item 12A on the agenda. I know we have several folks here for that. So we'll close that public hearing. The next public hearing is related to item number 13, which is an ordinance vacating a portion of 2 utility easements in the city of Springdale. State statute requires that before this ordinance can be taken up, that a public hearing be held. City clerk has published notice of the public hearing as required by statute. Is there anyone here who would like to comment on this ordinance? If not, we'll close the public hearing. We'll take that up as item number 13 on the agenda.
All right, thank you, Ernest. We're now to item 8, procedural motions.
I move for A and B.
Second.
We got a motion for both A and B, and I will call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
All right, thank you for that. And we are now at item 9, and I'll let Chief of Staff Colby Fulfer bring that and read that resolution.
This is a resolution amending Resolution 167-24, approving a reappointment to the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport Authority. The error was I shortchanged Mr. Taldo 364 days on the date. Should have read December 31st instead of January 1st.
Move resolution pass.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Any other comment or discussion? Anyone in the room? All right, call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
All right, thank you, and I don't think he's here tonight, but also thanks to Mr. Taldo for his willingness to continue to serve in that important position. Item 10, Planning Commission Report and Recommendations by Sharon Tromberg, Director of Planning and Community Development. Sharon?
Good evening, Council, Mayor. First item that we have tonight, there it is a rezoning requesting a general commercial. So the applicant is requesting a commercial use to allow a future commercial use unnamed. It's an undeveloped 0.59 acre tract located on Central Drive. And this is between I-49 and South 48th Street and Jean George Boulevard. The property hasn't been developed in more than 25 years. There we go. So right now it is still A1. It aligns with the land use plan to go to commercial. So the title of this reads, an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the city of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning R25-54 certain lands located at 5089 Central Drive from agricultural district A1 to general commercial district C2 within Springdale, Arkansas. And I'll mention that this one was actually approved at our October Planning Commission, but we waited until we had legal description verification before bringing it forward.
Let me, while we're waiting on a question, Anna has gone to get, I know everyone got emailed the update from the Planning Commission, as Sharon always does, and we didn't get hard copies for everybody.
Oh, gotcha, okay,
So Anna went to get some,
gotcha.
in
Okay.
case anybody needs that for later.
You can always ask questions. Here to.
Mark, did you, go ahead.
Yeah, so you said that this is in alignment with the land use plan to go commercial. So all the places there on Central and to the north of that, those look like single-family dwellings. So can you explain what you mean by that?
Some are single-family dwellings and some are not. So like the O1 property that's just north of the subject one was just recently rezoned to O1 and is an office for a fencing company. So there are some existing non-conforming houses in there, single-family residences. So if and when a development plan for this is submitted to our office, we'll have a focus on buffering to make sure that as commercial trend and pattern fills in, that we're still giving respect to the existing residences there. That's important.
So the lot just to the south of that looks like there's at least 3 structures on it, but one of them does look like a house, so there will be buffering between it and the commercial there?
Yes, sir.
Move ordinance pass.
Okay, we have a motion second to approve the ordinance. Are there any other questions or comments before we vote? Anyone in the audience need to speak to this issue? All right, I'll call for the vote.
Carries 6-0. Council, I will make you aware, the ordinance does not contain an emergency clause. I don't know if the applicant was requesting one. The reason it does not contain an emergency clause is because I thought we were only going to have 5 council members here tonight. We end up having 6. So
Thank you, Barry.
There is one item, the third rezoning, that we will ask for an emergency clause, but the others are all right.
this one doesn't need one.
This one does not.
Okay. All right, I think we can move on then.
All right. Our second item, this is a request to rezone from P1 to SF2. And I want to start off by just letting folks know that there's been a petition to quiet title has been filed on this property. So I wanted to bring that to council's attention just to get guidance and figure out if action needs to be taken tonight or not.
Yeah, my recommendation, she is correct. On November 4th, the quiet title action was filed. The city's received notice of that quiet title action and a notice of the lis pendens that's been filed on the property that could affect the ownership of this property or partial ownership of this property. So it's my recommendation that this ordinance be forwarded back to Planning Commission, which is one of the options that you have in the zoning ordinance, actions that you can take until this litigation has been resolved. Because at this point, I'll just leave it at that.
I move this ordinance be moved back to the planning commission due to the lease pendants.
Second.
You know, I do
Okay,
know the
we have go ahead, Ernest.
I do know that there are folks on both sides of this litigation that are here. I don't know if they wanted to speak or not, but that would be my recommendation for this ordinance.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Would anyone like to speak to this tonight? You're welcome to come up, sir. We're not going to take, well, you've heard the motion. It's to refer it back to planning commission, but you're welcome to come speak if you want.
Hi, my name is Isaac Mooneyham. I live in Fayetteville. Just moved here at the end of August, and I have a purchase contract on this property since October 2nd. And to my knowledge, the Lis Pendens lawsuit against it is really just for a portion that the nursing home actually built onto this property back in the 90s and never, I guess, claimed it or rezoned it since then, as well as the only driveway to this property. But it does not pertain to the entire property or the house, the single-family home that is on this property. And that is what it is.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Does that change anything, Ernest? as
No,
far as-
because the request for the rezoning does include that portion as well.
Yeah.
Mr. McKinney wants to add anything, he's welcome to.
I'm Cliff McKinney from Quattlebaum Grooms on behalf of the neighbor who filed the lawsuit. We just ask that this does get referred back to the planning commission at this point in time, but obviously if you do move forward, then I'm here to present our case, so appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, is everybody clear on the motion? Go ahead, Jeff.
It seems, this fellow, I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Mr. Mooneyhan.
Lenny?
Isaac Mooneyhan?
He's got a contract to purchase. The petitioner's a church or a Compassion Ministries, correct? Are they the sellers in that contract? Is that
Yes,
what's
sir.
going on? And he's hoping to buy it and turn it into a residential property. Is that also what's happening?
Yes, sir.
And there's a little sliver, which I don't know if we have any kind of drawing here of what we're talking about. Ernest, do you? We do have a drawing? Is it very much? And why are we, my hesitation is, quiet titles could take 2 or 3, 4 months. So my hesitation is, why would we slow down this fella's hope of purchasing it and turn it into residential? It's the driveway?
It could affect the owner. And in order to rezone it, all the owners have to sign off on it, so.
But
It could affect the ownership, and on a rezoning, all the owners have to sign up on the
But
rezoning.
right now, we think we know who the owners are.
That's correct, but since there's a Lis Pendens on the property, in my opinion, I think it needs to go back to planning commission, because theoretically, if we were to rezone it and the petitioner in the quiet title action prevails,
Yeah?
then we've rezoned the property, they didn't consent to
They
the,
could what?
then we've rezoned a property one of the owners didn't consent to.
To their portion,
Correct.
not to the rest of it, where he's hoping to reside, or somebody's hoping to reside.
Right, but the rezoning request is for the entire parcel, which
Well,
includes
I
the
guess I'm
driveway.
asking, I'm sorry, I'm still not sure. I may have to ask you to spell your name. Seems to me, if there's some urgency, I'd like to know about it, because
Come on back up if you want.
I just hate to slow him down.
Sorry, my name is Isaac. Yes, as far as I know, it is a portion on the south part of the property. It's not, the home is actually surrounded in total by a privacy fence. So it's not a portion that's ever used.
Looks like it's a drive from the photograph.
And then the other section is the driveway that's been used by the nursing home and the home since, I'm guessing, the 90s when it was built. But this home was built in 1980 with that driveway. So I would only ask that if they continue using it and moving big trucks over the driveway, that they would maintain it. It's got a lot of potholes at the moment.
It's
Yeah.
an issue for us, but
No, it's not, but that's the issue is that, if they were given the driveway that, I mean,
your plan,
My plan is to
My
live in it.
question is there some urgency, or can you wait
I
for
mean,
this?
I would really like to be in it. I'm in an RV at the moment. We moved here from Kansas City thinking, we were going to be in a house by now, obviously. So yeah, I'd really like to be into it.
Is there anyone here from the ministries to speak?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They were advised that our recommendation was going to be to return this to planning commission. Then they're the petitioner. A petitioner for the rezoning, I should say. I don't want to get that confused with the quiet title action. They are actually the ones requesting the rezoning.
So let me just think this through. If we went ahead and rezoned it, the plaintiff in the quiet title might, they filed a list pendants, but it's only over a portion of the property that we're rezoning, not the residential portion. They might come back and complain later and say, hey, you shouldn't have rezoned this. He might not care, I don't know. I'm just,
It doesn't affect the house itself. It's really just the surrounding areas of it. It's over half an acre, the way it is. It's a large piece of property.
The legal description in the quiet title action is the entire parcel, from what I can tell. From what I can tell, it is.
and the list pendant?
I think it's 1.2 acres, I believe, is the,
And I'll note that part of that area where the boundary issues were raised, there's approximately about 20 feet between structure, the edge of the house, and the nursing home facility, about 20 feet from structure to structure. So it's a pretty tight area.
just for some context as well, this property was requested to be rezoned to P1, which is its current zoning designation in 2023. And now they're requesting to go back from P1 back to a single family.
Of course, Doug knows this, I'm pretty familiar with this property, having been raised right next door. So, I mean, that area that he's talking about, Isaac's talking about, has been residential. It's all kind of, that corner's kind of mixed up with the nursing home and the,
Certainly, in case this is helpful, we do have a drawing, and so this is in litigation right now, so we don't have a formal survey yet. This is what we're able to find online. But we do have a dispute over the entire driveway, as well as you can see the property line appears to run through the middle of this building, this part of the nursing home, as well as part of that building. So based on the application you have right now to rezone, if you were to rezone, you would be rezoning, based on our condition lawsuit, parts of our building currently being used as a nursing home to single-family residential, which would obviously have a significant impact on us.
Sharon, did we not know this when it was being looked at by the planning commission, that it was cut right through part of the nursing home?
GIS verified the legal description. We looked into it once that was raised. And sometimes it's hard, right? Like our GIS does not always reflect the most current property lines. We get that data, we extract it from the county on a semi-regular basis. So sometimes we may see the parcel lines and we have to dig in a little bit deeper.
That's why it's our belief as the neighbor that this is premature at this point, and it's why this process needs to work out, because we certainly don't support this rezoning. It could have a very negative impact on us as well. It needs to play out in the court system, is our belief.
To answer your question, Mr. Watson, their quiet title action was filed on November 4th. That was the same day as the planning commission meeting, so we didn't know about it till after.
We were trying to find some sort of property line change or something since 2023 because we successfully rezoned it with verified legal description and accurate since then. So we started looking for a discrepancy and, well, we're waiting to see the outcome because we felt that the legal description was all right.
So going back to the planning commission is going to do what? Just hold it there? Or are they expected to change their votes on it, on whatever the findings of the lawsuit is?
I think we need to wait until the list pendant's been released from the property. That's the legal answer. That's why a list pendants is filed. It gives the world notice that there is litigation regarding the property.
So which was there first, the house or the nursing home?
Nursing home, I think. Oh, the house was?
So the nursing home built onto property that's not theirs then?
Can I give a little history to this? I'm Brandon Adams. I'm the owner.
That nursing home has been there for a very long time.
It was remodeled in the 90s.
Oh,
what he's
okay,
referring to.
okay.
Tommy Holland's old nursing home, so it was there in the 60s.
We couldn't hear you. Okay, I'm Brandon Adams. I'm president of Reliance Healthcare that owns the facility. And there's more to it than just the legalese of this. But to give a little bit of history, so when we purchased the property, I'm not sure exactly, over 20 years ago, that house had already been sold from the property. So originally, it was one property. And so when we purchased it, that house wasn't available. It was, at the time, it was a daycare. And so it was advantageous to our employees and things that used it as a daycare. So we didn't mind sharing the driveway. They weren't open. They were only open during the day. The issue is, for me personally, is that driveway is imperative for us for deliveries and for trash and for linens and food and all those things. So we have no other way in to the loading dock but that driveway. The trash is picked up every night, anywhere from midnight to 4 a.m. We have 3 shift changes, 6 a.m., 11 p.m. So it's inappropriate to me to put a family in there for any reason. And so I just think that you're asking for trouble, not just from the legal standpoint, but just from a neighbor standpoint. I mean, it's 20 feet across there from building to building, but it's 10 feet between the fence and the building. So it concerns me with the traffic and the size of the trucks and things that use that road, that it just wouldn't be appropriate for a family to live there 24 hours a day. And I can go through the history of when Mr. Holland owned it, and I don't know why they sold that piece of property at some point, but it was not part of the purchase when we bought it.
They sold the property but retained an access easement?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have pictures and things to show you the proximity of what we're talking about and the kind of traffic that you're dealing with and those kind of things.
Council, I don't know that we are equipped to get into all this.
You're right, 'cause it's not a
really.
hearing. I get that.
We've got a motion and a second to refer this back to the Planning Commission. And Council, do you want to hear any more? Are you ready for a vote? Okay. All right. Are we ready back in the back? Looks like we've got it up there. I'll call for the vote.
Carries 5-1. Refer back to the Planning Commission.
Thank you. All right, our next item, this is the rezoning item that I will request an emergency clause for. All right, so this third one, the applicant, he's seeking a C1 for a hair salon, and he'd like to pursue some building permits and get started on the development plan portion of it. So he needs the commercial zoning in order to have that. This one is actually right across the street from the property that we just talked about. And it is completely surrounded by either light commercial or institutional uses. We think it was appropriate. It's a 0.3 acre property, and Planning Commission unanimously approved it with an 8-0 vote and no public comment. And the title of this reads, an ordinance amending ordinance number 3307, the same being the zoning ordinance of the city of Springdale, Arkansas, and the plat pertaining thereto by rezoning R25-64, certain lands located at 805 South West End Street from a low-medium density single-family residential, SF2, to a neighborhood commercial district, C1, within Springdale, Arkansas, and declaring an emergency to add.
Move the ordinance pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Other comments or questions?
Yeah, this place has just recently been remodeled.
Right.
And that used to be the old Slim Bailey house, Bailey Brothers.
Okay. Our historian update. Anyone in the audience need to speak to this? All right, I'll call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
Move emergency clause be adopted.
Okay, call for the vote on the emergency clause.
Carries 6-0. That was quick, Brian, or Shannon,
Yeah.
whoever put that up there.
All right.
Thank you all. Our next item, this is a conditional use request for a church. They're seeking a use unit 42 in a C2, so a general commercial district. Church looking to operate in this commercial zone on Huntsville. This is on the north side of that curb across from the Animal Hospital and Central Junior High. This would allow the congregation to continue operating as a church, which it historically has. The planning department's records go back to 2010, the first conditional use that we granted this location for a church. When they originally came to Planning Commission, they were tabled. There was a deficiency with parking. They have limited parking, and since it's new ownership, they have to seek a new conditional use. So they were tabled. They went and sought a shared parking agreement with the neighbor and requested a variance from Planning Commission, which was approved. So with the parking fully addressed, there was no public comment. Planning Commission unanimously approved this conditional use. 8-0 with the following conditions. Shared parking agreement as follows. Shared parking with 2988 West Huntsville Avenue may occur on Wednesdays and weekends. Observe the city's adopted noise standards, meet all building and fire code provisions, and no sign shall be erected, maintained, or utilized unless by a permit issued by the chief city inspector. And the title of this reads, "A Resolution Approving a Conditional Use, C-25-06, for Jittabon Land Lawn, AOG, Marshall East Church at 3020 West Huntsville Avenue, as set forth in ordinance number 4030. I think I have a little site plan here as well that shows the parking.
Is the agreement to use the parking lot to the east of that?
Yes, the one to the west had a big drainage ditch, so it was not an option.
Okay. It's just hard to tell which direction his drawing was for.
Okay, what's your pleasure, council?
Move resolution pass.
Second. We got a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Any other questions or comments? Anyone else in the room? All right, call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
Thank you. All right, now we are on to waivers. The fifth item, this is tied to a non-large scale development for minor site modifications. This is in North Springdale and former Bethel Heights. They are seeking a waiver of street improvements. They have 3 fronts. So the applicant's position, what they stated when they applied for this waiver to Planning Commission, is that the surrounding streets, North Thompson, Woods Drive, and Moody Avenue, do not currently have sidewalks or related improvements. There are no planned projects to add them in this area right now. So from their standpoint, installing the isolated improvements on site would not create a meaningful connection or public benefit. And I think I listed in that summary some of the length of the frontages that they have on this road. And the modification that they did for the development was like a large metal awning in the back, structure but not fully enclosed. The title of this reads, "A Resolution Approving a Waiver, W25-41, of street improvements, drainage, curb, gutter, sidewalks, and streetlights as set forth in ordinance number 3725 to Fang site modification in connection with N2533, a non-large scale development."
I move with option 1.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the waiver with option 1. Any other questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? Call for the vote.
Carries 6-0, option 1.
All right, our next waiver is on Oak Grove, and this item is tied to Trade Pro Large-Scale Development, which was approved at this last Planning Commission meeting, and request to waive the required improvements along about 140 feet of frontage on Oak Grove Road. So Trade Pro is a local trades and services business. They're looking to expand. They have a development plan on about 6 acres of this. We've been working with the owner for a few months, trying to find the right location. But by ordinance, full street improvements are required on this frontage. And part of their waiver request was the yellow area, was they were also requesting that their street improvements be down to that small, that very small street width of 140 feet, rather than the entirety, since that's what they're going to develop. Planning Commission voted 5-3, a split vote, but to grant them to waive all the improvements.
Say that one more time. About the street improvements. Say it one more time.
About the length, so this businessman, he purchased 2 pieces of property, so that full length, but he's doing a property line adjustment, and his development, he wants to sell the top lot and the bottom, and he's put in some shared access easements, so he's only developing the yellow part. So his request for street improvements was, I should only be held to that small portion, since that's what he's developing. Where typically by ordinance, we would have said the entire length of that property.
Dixon Street's a pretty primitive street, isn't it?
This one's Oak Grove. This one is for
Oh,
commercial one.
Oak Grove.
Dixon's,
I'm sorry, I thought-
it's coming shortly.
I thought we were talking about the one on Dixon. I apologize.
So his plan is to sell track 1 and track 3, basically is what you said, right? And
Yes,
if
sir.
he went ahead and sold those and was only dealing with track 2, that's what we'd be doing anyway, right? Because he would still just be the owner of track 2.
Yes.
At some point in time, if track 1 and track 3 are developed, those owners at that time might have to come in and is there some way, has it already been subdivided like this, track 1, track 2?
It's under review right now.
Under review by who?
Planning and the water department and other departments if they
Well,
need
why don't we
to.
wait till that happens before because he's wanting to go ahead and start development, is that it?
Yeah, he got a,
Before this subdividing is done?
it's about to be wrapped up. I don't know where exactly the status is, but it's near finalization. And they got their large scale and a variance approved at Planning Commission a couple weeks ago, so they're
It
eager
is
to
definitely
start.
on track 2? Okay.
This is the property we talked about, wasn't it, Sharon, track 3, that's got
It
the
is.
utility that's going to make it almost impossible.
It's a difficult
Yeah.
property to develop. There's about 100-foot utility easement that goes diagonal through the entire property. So it's kind of it's a challenging one.
So it may be that track 3 might not ever sell and might not ever be developed. And
That would
then
be my fear with
Yeah.
this.
we'd be left with the situation that there might be portions developed to the north and to the south, but that little track 3 might never get developed.
Potentially.
Were there any other options given to this property owner?
Different options about the street improvements? No, that was why they had come to Planning Commission. They were hoping to waive all street improvements, and if they were required to do it, just that portion for track 2. But the requirement by ordinance is that it's the full amount. But I mean, the options, they could do payment in lieu of, there's a couple options to get there.
And down the street down there, they're doing a multifamily development,
Yes, sir.
and that road's being improved.
They did. They agreed to and were required and are building the full street improvements.
I'm a little concerned about I think Jeff kind of brought it up about the possibility of ending up with a gap there. I guess the other side of that is if they improved the whole length, it would make the other two pieces more marketable, I would think. You're taking that off the new owner.
And they also, in their development, they plan detention to include at least that southern lot, just so therefore if somebody buys it and builds, stormwater mitigation is hopefully pretty much taken care of for them.
Going to do track 3, is that what you just said?
No, the yellow one, for that development, he went ahead and over-detained. He detained and to include that amount, to make
He
it a
took
little
the-
bit easier.
He took the stormwater off of track 3. Okay.
So if someone develops there, they might not even,
I see.
depends, yeah.
Is there a way to split that up to where you can do track 2 and 3 and not have to do 1 since that's the more sellable one? If that is the concern?
We only have 6 of us here tonight, right? What if we have a split vote? How does that work?
It takes 5, well, it takes 4 plus the mayor, no matter what. Correct, correct. Should the mayor choose to vote.
In fact, that road just got paved.
I was trying to see if I had a better map for you. There.
Comments on this before a motion's made?
Motion, but we can, maybe some comments will help get us one direction, nudge us one direction or the other on this. Kind of torn on this one.
Hey, Nick Boning with ESI. Any questions I can answer for you guys? The owners wanted to develop that middle lot, like we're saying. We're gonna have detention for all 3 tracks. So it's already taken care of for all 3 tracks for detention. The lot split was signed by the city this morning and picked up, so it's going to the county to be recorded later, I think either today or tomorrow. But the owner was basically wanting to develop the middle lot, do the improvements for that, and then unknowing what the developments will be for the north and south, we don't want to improve it just for them to go and cut out a driveway and have to take out all the money we put into it to develop those parts of the road. But any other questions, I can answer anything.
Let's see, I never make motions on these waivers. I'm going to ask that the resolution be approved with option 2. Is it? Yeah, 2.
Just to clarify, Sharon, are they voting on just the yellow part, track 2, or are they voting on the entire length of the street? I just want to make sure we're clear on what we're voting on.
It was for the street frontage in front of tract 1 and tract 3. So we were going to develop all of the tract 2 frontage and have a driveway connection there.
Are you
the
doing
mo-
street improvements on track 2?
Yes.
What,
All right, I spoke incorrectly, I so apologize. So the developer, let me go back to this. Sorry, can go back to it. So they have agreed to street improvements for track 2. How do you find it? Okay, so they've agreed to the full street improvements for track 2 in the middle, and the waiver
Okay.
request is for 1 and 3.
Jeff,
I think
what,
that's
Thank
what you
you for being
said.
here and clarifying.
Jeff, what would you think about a bill of assurance for tracks 1 and 3?
Assurances are used when we think that there's a possibility that we're going to develop. And so it basically,
That,
So the motion would be deny the waiver request for lots 1 and 3 then. That would be the motion that's awaiting a second.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution with option 2. And again, Ernest, that is, that's denying the waiver on 1 and 3, lots 1 and 3.
Correct.
So basically, they would be required to do the improvements across the whole property, all 3 lots. Okay? Other comments or questions? That's our motion and second. It's on the table. Anyone in the audience need to speak to this? All right, call for the vote.
Carries 6-0, option 2.
Wow, thought sure I'd get to vote on that one.
That's okay.
All right, thank you, guys. Go ahead, Sharon. We got another one, it looks like.
Yeah, just a couple more. Okay, now we're on to Dixon Street, Mr. Overton. Here we are. So this next one, this is a sidewalk waiver request for 4001 Dixon, and this was the build of a single-family dwelling on a dead-end street. Planning Commission reviewed it, recommended approval, and the applicant actually brought a really well-prepared presentation to Planning Commission and submitted. He walked through our master street plan, provided photos, clearly documented some of the conditions on Dixon, pointed out some of the other waivers that had been approved. If you've been down there, it's a very narrow, low-traffic road, and there was a large-scale development that is on the west side of Dixon that had a waiver approved last year, just FYI. The title of this reads, "A Resolution Approving a Waiver, W25-43, of street improvements, drainage, curb gutters, sidewalks, and streetlights as set forth in ordinance number 3725 to William Presley in connection with 4001 Dixon Street, a single-family dwelling."
move the resolution pass, option 1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Other questions or comments? This is with option 1. Anyone in the audience? Call for the vote.
Carries 5-1, option 1.
Last one. All right, and the eighth and last item we have, this is tied to a large-scale development for 2350 Old Wire Road, Paramount Metals, which was approved at this last Planning Commission. They're looking to relocate a metal fabrication business from Tawnytown to a light industrial zone here in northeast Springdale. Here's a picture of their development plan that we had approved. We approved the large scale and an accompanying lot split for the 4.5-acre property. So they're undergoing the lot split that's being finished up to split off this house here. And the SNP in my summary was actually incorrect. There's an access easement, but it kind of showed like a flagship one to Old Wire, but this one reflects what they want to do. Their development is west of the house. And the title of this, or just to note, all the improvements on 265 are complete, so this waiver is for Old Wire, because the time they submitted it, they had not submitted this lot split. So this was part of the entire development, so we were asking for street improvements for Old Wire. So that's what this waiver is. And it reads, "A resolution approving a waiver, W25-44, of street improvements, drainage, curb gutters, sidewalks, and streetlights as set forth in ordinance 3725 to Paramount Metals in connection with L25-26, a large-scale development.
I'm sorry, that was confusing me. You talked about Butterfield Coach and Old Wire. What is it they're wanting to waive?
Let me see if here's a better picture describing the property, that black outlined one. They touch Old Missouri and Old Wire. And so then, through the development process, they decided they want to split off that house. But when they first approached us, it was the full thing, so we would have required street improvements.
So they're not gonna do anything with that old house?
No, but there is an existing access easement, so they potentially will retain access to Old Wire, which is why we held that. So they may be
So they're
using
not
it.
wanting to make any improvements to Old Wire with,
Correct.
and it's lot split that caused this to come before us, basically.
Well, it was the large scale, which is what required the street improvements on Old Wire, yes.
So do they
Well, the
want
large
access to
scale
the
is,
business?
that's the back part of the lot, right? That's,
It is, but whenever they first,
when I say back part, I guess it's the
East.
western side.
the western side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever they first approached us with this development, it was for the entire property.
And did they do some improvements then, when they did the large scale?
It just got approved a couple weeks ago at Planning Commission, so they're not allowed to move dirt yet.
Oh,
But they're not gonna have access to this business? I'm assuming it's a business?
There
They're not
is-
wanting access from Oak, what's it, Oak Grove?
Old
Or
Wire.
Old Wire, I mean?
They will. There is an existing access easement on that north side, so they would retain legal access to enter and exit through Old Wire.
and what is Old Wire like right now? Is there improvements down through there, or?
No.
There's none?
No, the
It's
highway
just-
department, they turned that over to us not too long ago, Ben. Didn't they? And they resurfaced it before we took it. Yeah. It's open ditches. I don't think so. Do we have any developments that have gone into that section of Old Wire that have sidewalks?
Same side of the road, but I think it's one lot deep, and so they didn't have to do any improvements except bring the road out to Old Wire. So I don't think there's any sidewalk on Old Wire.
Okay.
It looks like in this drawing that there, are these trees, the circles that are around the back here? So they're
Yes.
not actually trying to get in and out of the back of this property onto Old Wire, they just are retaining the access to it.
Yes, yes.
I guess that's a question just in my mind. If they came in and as part of the large scale, if they were gonna go ahead and create an access to Old Wire,
It was existing,
we would, but build an access, build a driveway
yes.
and connect to Old Wire, we would require that, we'd be much more likely to require the improvements. Yet they're gonna maintain the easement, so they could go back and do that anytime. And we've waived these improvements to Old Wire. The other side of that is there are no improvements anywhere else on Old Wire, so, and this is a very short area. So that's probably not the end of the world.
Yeah, but if they have big trucks coming in and out of there, I mean,
Yeah, it looks like they're blocking all that off with landscaping.
so what happens if they change their mind? We grant this and they change their mind and they decide that that's gonna be of a loading in and out of there with large trucks. Do we have there's nothing we can do about it?
I mean, if you waive it tonight, then there would not be. And it's not planned to be their main point of ingress egress, that would be 265. But since there's an existing access easement and it's a backup for them, we can't stop them from using it. I foresee the situation where they do use that access.
Well, it makes sense that with trucks, they'd continue to come off 265. I mean.
Yeah.
So. All right, we haven't had a motion, so what y'all want to do?
So what did their large scale show again? off of Owire.
All the improvements were already there and done, so they actually did not have to do road improvements to 265. Their apron was already there and set.
No, on Owire.
To Old Wire.
Oh, on Old Wire?
On the
Yeah.
east end.
What was your question? What did they have to
There,
do?
what did the large scale show for that portion? Did it show anything for that
Noth-
portion?
This is a snip from it right here, where,
Isn't there a large residential being built to the north of there that we recently approved, or the planning did, north and east?
that's pretty broad, potentially. I'd
I
have
think we
to-
rezoned that to industrial, didn't we? I-1.
A preliminary plat on the east side?
I'm talking about on the east side of the road.
Yes. If it's still, it may have been a year, it may have expired, but at one point we did approve.
That was
a preliminary
multifamily,
plat
wasn't it?
there.
Wasn't that multifamily on the east side? Maybe not.
I don't want to confirm on it, I have to go back and look.
Okay, I may
I've
be
looked at too many
remembering that
projects. since
Is
then.
there potential for children, this is pretty close to Biari, right? In fact, it's right across Old Wire from the entrance to get to Biari Elementary, correct?
Yes.
So is there potential for children walking down Old Wire Road to go to school, I guess is my question. Is that pretty unlikely? Is there subdivisions, like you mentioned, being,
They do it now. When we did our smart school study, this was one area that kids were walking from, I think it's Apache Trace or Trail to Biari Elementary.
they're walking down the side of Old Wire Road.
They're walking in the ditch right now.
They're walking in the ditch. Mhm. So sometimes we approve waivers where they don't have to put in curb and gutter, but we still require them to put in sidewalks, don't we, Sharon? Isn't that a situation we've done before?
Yes, sir.
Wanting to waive sidewalks and everything.
Everything, curb, gutter, streetlights.
This is tough because it just involves such a short, I mean, a
You
a
gotta
really
start
short
somewhere
section.
with sidewalks.
You do, you do. Well, what do you want to do, council?
I'd be more agreeable to waiving the curb and gutter if they were willing to put in a sidewalk, if it's feasible. You know, but we hadn't heard that request, I guess.
No, that's what I was looking for. I don't think any representative of the project is here.
I guess we would, if we required a sidewalk, it would go backside of the ditch, right?
Yeah, if you require one, we'll figure out a way to build one. I mean, it may not be at the same elevation as the road, but we can certainly put one in off the pavement, give the kids a solid place.
I'd like to table this to the next council meeting to give engineering a chance to look at whether or not a sidewalk would be feasible on this property. Can we do that?
Is that your motion to table? We have a motion to table
Second.
and second. So that would come back to the next council meeting. Oh, good, we won't have anything on that one.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
We're going to go out with a bang.
Yeah, we might as well add another one.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second to table. Any other questions before we vote? I'll call for the vote.
Carry 6-0 is tabled to the December 9th city council meeting.
All right, thank you. We're at item 11, Finance Committee, and Chairman Jeff Watson. Jeff?
Yes, sir. The Finance Committee forwards 3 items to council, all of them with recommendation for approval. The first one is a resolution for professional services The title to this resolution is a resolution authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement for testing services on Springdale Street reconstructions Phase 1, 23BPS11, and Ben will address this.
Yeah, this is for geotechnical testing for street reconstructions. We're redoing 4 streets in town that failed, and they need a wholesale rebuild, so this is just for them to do concrete cylinders, geotech samples, that kind of thing, for a value of $29,610.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Other comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
The second item forwarded to council from the Finance Committee has to do with expenditure of additional funds for purchase of property on Sunset Extension. The title to this resolution is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds to acquire property from Porphyria Millen for the Sunset Avenue Extension and Powell Street Improvement Project, project number 23BPS6. And Ernest can address this.
Thank you. This will authorize an additional sum of $74,777 to acquire this commercial business. This is at the northwest corner of Holcomb and Sunset. And the property owner provided a written justification for the increase in compensation, which includes relocating a commercial business, a tenant.
And this is for a location or a future roundabout, do the extension.
Yes.
Right.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any other comments or questions? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
The third item from Finance is also a request for additional funds for purchase of property on the Sunset Avenue Extension. The title to this resolution is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds to acquire property from Umberto Camarena for the Sunset Avenue Extension and Powell Street Improvement Project, project number 23BPS6.
Move resolution pass.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Other comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Call for the vote.
Carries 6-0.
All right, thank you. Item 12 is Committee of the Whole. Who took that at council, or at committee? Did you do that, Jeff?
No, I will.
Did you do it, Mike? Well, whoever wants to.
Good. The first item we have is on the committee is an ordinance authorizing the issue of industrial development bonds under the authority of Act Number 9 of 1960, and as amended for the purpose of securing and developing industry within the city, authorizing the execution and delivery of bond purchase agreement, providing for the sale of a bond, authorizing the execution and delivery of a trust indentures securing the bond, authorizing the execution and delivery of a lease agreement between the city as lessor and Tyson Poultry, Inc., an affiliate thereof, as lessee, authorizing the execution and delivery of an agreement for the payments in lieu of taxes, authorizing the execution and delivery of other documents relating to the issuance of the bond and prescribing other matters relating thereto. And the city attorney will explain all that.
Ernest, before you get started, let me make sure everyone's seen, I received an email actually it was to me and the city council from our superintendent of schools, Jared Cleveland, in support of this project, or support of this item. And I just wanted to be sure you called that to your attention. Tom, if you don't have that, you got it? Okay. All right, go ahead, Ernest.
Thank you. As was discussed at committee, this is the lack of a better way to put it, a rehab of the Cargill plant at 730 Randall Welby Road. It's a significant investment by Tyson Foods. This would allow them to use this mechanism to make these improvements, and in the end, it'll be a win-win for everybody.
Ernest, can you explain the city's status as lessor? I understood that the bond was allowing Tyson to go ahead and purchase this property and do the necessary improvements they need to operate. So explain how the city's a lessor.
Well, the way the pilot program works, and I think Mr. Hill is on Zoom, he can probably explain it way better than I can. That's just one of the moving parts, so to speak, of this whole payment in lieu of taxes statutory mechanism that makes this work. And then Mr. Hill, I believe, is on Zoom. So.
Absolutely. So under the Arkansas Constitution, in order for non-charitable property to be exempt from property taxes, it has to be titled in the name of a local government. And so at closing, title of the property would be transferred to the city and leased back to the project company.
Isn't it true with Act 9 bond issues, the interest on those bonds are tax-free?
No, it's taxable.
Okay. Any other questions? I would entertain a motion.
Move the ordinance pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Other comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Call for the vote.
Carry 6-0.
All right, thank you.
The next item we have is a resolution requesting information from the Springdale Water and Sewer Commission and Springdale Water Utilities to aid in the determination of amendments to the current water and sewer rate ordinance are flexible and practical. And I'd like to move this resolution be moved forward with recommendation for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I know our Utilities Director, Heath Ward, is on Zoom. Also, I saw Commissioner Chris Weiser and Rick Pulverini from Springdale Water in the room. And Shep Russell is on Zoom as well. Ernest, do you have anything you want to say before we?
Sure. I just want to say all this resolution does is request information from Springdale Water Utilities to aid in the termination. That's all that this resolution does. I have received a memo from the attorney for Springdale Water and Sewer Commission, Mr. Harwell, regarding legal issues regarding amending rates. This morning I received a letter from Mr. Russell, who's bond counsel on the bonds that were issued by Springdale Water and Sewer Commission in 2022 and 2025, addressing issues that we're aware of as well with adjustments to rates. But all this does is just request information. We're not taking any action on rates at this time. We do understand that there are issues involved in making that decision, but we need information before we can make those decisions. That's all that this does.
Heath, do you want to go ahead and speak to that? Let me just kind of pile on to what Ernest just said. I really think, I don't know that there's any need to try and get into the weeds tonight. I know you're still gathering that information. And I think you had expressed to me probably by February, you felt like you could have the information the council would need to move forward with whatever the decision might be and to evaluate this. Do you, go ahead, Heath.
Mayor, I'd like, hopefully, before you request those comments, hopefully we can not get into the weeds. I don't think,
I
so
agree.
hopefully Mr. Ward understands what you're saying is we don't need, because from my conversations before the meeting started, I think there was people showing up thinking there might be discussion about an explanation, and I'm sure that's why Sheffield's here for that purpose as well. But I don't think that's what we're doing tonight, and I think we'd rather do that at committee So hopefully we're going to limit any explanation tonight. Don't you agree, Mike?
And that was consensus of the committee meeting, because this is just a request for information, see if it's viable. We're not asking for anything. The whole idea is to get some information and to see if in the future, something like a freeze for seniors might be available. Don't know if it's feasible or not. Until we see the numbers, we have no idea.
All right. Heath, you want to say anything?
Yes, in general, the staff, and I'll let Chairman Weiser speak, but the commission, and I apologize for not being there because I'm in Florida right now. But in general, we support this resolution, and we're happy to provide this information and present something to the council as route forward on this, either in January or February. And I think we can give the council some options that are both legally feasible and would help our senior citizens, especially those that were in the most need. And I'll let Chairman Weiser speak to anything else. Thank
You guys need to say anything else? Okay, all right. We've got a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Any other comments or questions?
Can we set a date, time, or that they have to have it to us by, instead of just leaving it out there as January, February?
Well, let's see what the progress is, and if we need to set a definite date, but, we got holidays coming up, and they have advised us they're starting to work on it, so
Mike, why don't we just put this on the agenda for the first committee meeting in January?
For further discussion?
Yep, so that, maybe we'll have.
At that time, we can have further discussion,
Right.
see, but,
Just so that we can see if they're ready to, talk about it then, or
see what.
not
see-
ready.
Yeah, see what progress we have. Yeah,
Right.
that'd be fine, but right now, we're just talking about the resolution.
So Heath, Chris, Rick, I think at that first committee meeting, which will be the first Monday in January, bring us what information you've got or a definite date when you'll have that information ready. That sound all right? Okay, thank you, guys. All right?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. We do have a motion to second. Any other questions or comments? Anyone in the room? Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Carry 6-0.
All right, thank you, and thank you all for being here, and Shep, and Heath, for joining us on Zoom.
Yes. Thank y'all. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, you as well. Item 13, that's, yeah. Are we still in the committee of the whole? We're done. All right, then I'll turn item 13 over to our city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance vacating and abandoning a portion of 2 utility easements pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated 14-301-301, EDSEC declaring an emergency for other purposes. This is on property located at 1210 South Thompson. There are 2 blanket easements that are being vacated for a new development.
Move ordinance pass.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Other questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? I'll call for the vote.
Carry 6-0.
Move emergency clause be adopted.
Call for the vote on the emergency clause.
Carry 6-0.
All right, item 14, also is our city attorney, actually items 14 and 15.
Item 14 is a resolution setting a hearing date on a petition to abandon a storm drainage easement on property located within the city of Springdale, Washington County, Arkansas. This is actually on the property that we just talked about, that Tyson Foods is making improvements to, the old Cargill property. This would set the public hearing for January 13th, and the city clerk will publish notice of the hearing as required by statute. It's vacating a storm drainage easement that's going to get relocated in the.
Move to approve the resolution.
Second. Okay, we have a motion second to approve. Any other comments or questions?
Who's the petitioner?
The property is still owned by Cargill Meat Solutions at this point? Yes.
Anyone else? Questions? Call for the vote.
Mine got to vote twice. Carry 6-0. The last item is an ordinance authorizing the city clerk to file a cleanup lien for the removal of overgrown brush and debris on property located within the city of Springdale, Arkansas, and declaring an emergency. This is properties located at 2010 Cypress Place, 610 North Kansas, 2018 Norfolk, 318 Ruby, parcel on South Thompson Street. Those 5 properties.
Move the ordinance pass.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. Other comments or questions? Anyone? Call for the vote.
Carry 6-0.
Move emergency clause be adopted.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the emergency clause. Call for the vote on the emergency clause.
Carry 6-0.
All right, any comments from city council? Department heads? Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, that last one on South Thompson didn't have an address. Hopefully it's not my office.
I believe it's a vacant lot.
No, as far as the budget, I'm trying to make sure everyone remembers. I think the discussion at the last meeting was that we were going to bring it back to the committee, the next committee meeting, which is next Monday. And it's my understanding, Kobe, correct, that we're going to have those changes. Everybody needs to bring their notebook so that we can put those changes in our notebook.
Some of us already have.
Wow.
Some of us prepared more than others.
Okay. And then there'll be the opportunity for further discussion, and then hopefully bring it forward, the budget forward at the first council meeting in December.
December
First and
9th.
last.
December 9th, yeah.
Get our money's worth.
Okay, and department heads, Chief Wright is here, and we have department head meetings every Tuesday, when it's the day of a council meeting. And Derek brought something forward that I thought y'all would want to hear. I wanted you hear it, because it's related to an expenditure you recently approved. So, Derek?
Thanks, Mayor. I was mentioning at the department head meeting this morning the success we've had already with a flock system that you also graciously approved earlier this year. We only have about 3 cameras that are live right now, but being able to integrate the network and use the software that came with it has been integral in dozens of cases. We had a road rage incident at Whataburger on Elm Springs last week. We would not have been able to identify the other party without Flock. It took about a minute and a half. It was actually during a training class. Flock was on site last week training some of our detectives and officers, and showed them how to do it. And I pulled up some analytics here during the meeting. And just here, we can put a custom hot list, and what that is somebody that a detective would specifically be looking for in regards to investigating a case. And just in the 2 weeks that we've had this up, we've had 128 hits just off our system, and we still have several cameras to go. So thank you for your support. It's been very successful.
When do we expect what all has been approved to be operational, Derek?
They're thinking within about the next 2 to 3 weeks. They're still working with RDOT on some of the permitting on the highways. That's a holdup. That may be a few more months. But I think that is 6 cameras out of the 24 total. So the rest of them should be up and going. I know they've got some, they're supposed to go live tomorrow. They're in town installing those. And I think the rest that are non-RDOT cameras will be up the next couple of weeks.
I think we're gonna, this is just my opinion, but I hope we can push forward with expanding this system as quickly as is practical and as quickly as we can afford to, so.
It's been considerably more valuable than we even thought when we proposed it.
Good deal.
Hopefully, we can add body cameras for the council members too.
We could definitely let y'all borrow them.
All right. Ernest, you got anything?
I can't follow that. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, we wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and if we don't see you before then, and then we'll be back together on Monday for committee.
Maybe Tuesday.
So move.
Yeah. Got a motion to adjourn, and we stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.